Welcome to Lycomingfootball.com. After week one, Lycoming defeated Susquehanna 42-13. A pretty nice game. Scoring happened fast once it started. What's your overall impression of week number one, Mike? We're talking to head coach Mike Clark. Your 7th year.
Yeah, 7 years, John. It's crazy. No, we're pleased with the first week. Didn't start as fast offensively as we would have liked, but then we're able to, cash in the second quarter and then force a punt. I mean, defensively, I thought we were very solid early. Block the punt, makes it 14. Next series, come back, force a turnover inside the 5, score, and it goes from 7 to 21 in a hurry. And that's always tough for a young team like Susquehanna. So I'm just glad we were able to take advantage of some things and capitalize, in that second quarter or in that spurt.
A lot of positives I saw. You have a great group of wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Seibel, Cam Kreiner,
yep.
Umpleby,
mm-hmm.
and you have a great quarterback to get the ball to him.
Yep.
What would you think of their output?
I thought they were really solid, John. And look, hopefully this week we get back Pat Whalen and Corey Tallarico. So I mean, those guys are both working through some injuries, but hopefully, we get at least one back this weekend and maybe another. And I'd say if you look at those first 5 guys, because if they're healthy, they're playing too. I mean, it's, and then you throw in Tyler Bocci. I mean, we have at least, and I don't want to forget anybody, but I mean, we've got 5, 6, maybe 7 wide receivers we can put into the game and feel comfortable.
And so you always have maybe a pretty fresh set of legs to put out there. Yeah,
and we should have it again with Corey and Pat out last week. It made it tough, but yeah, we got the ball Tyler into the game and got Tyler a catch. So as hot as it was the other day, we should have done that sooner. We talked about it and just during the course of the game lost sight of it. So we need to be able to substitute those guys, and it really does. It makes it tougher on a defense, and then if you have some guys who are capable of playing multiple positions, which Ryan is, which John Seibel is, Pat Whalen is, Tyler Bocci. I mean, a lot of those guys are sort of interchangeable. So you don't have to always. You can rest some guys one series, you can rest some guys, different guys another series, or you can use, wholesale and get 3 or 4 new guys in there at a time. So it's a knock on wood if they all stay healthy. It's a great, we have really good depth there.
Another bright spot, of course, is running back Craig Needhammer. We talked earlier about down at the Westminster game over around Philadelphia when he first got in as a freshman.
Yep.
And it was pretty obvious he could be something special. Low-key guy, very humble, but just gets the job done. 25, I believe, touchdowns, or at least he's tied Tim Deasy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he tied or went ahead.
No, he's tied right now, and I think it's at 29.
Yeah. 29,
yep.
Yeah. So he's a great tool for the offense.
He's pretty good. Yeah, I mean he just has a knack and always had, I think, for finding the end zone. So he's a tough kid. He's an incredibly intelligent player, John. Like really a smart runner and understands scheme and what we're trying to accomplish. So we're really lucky to have Craig.
Mm-hmm. Another bright spot, the kicking game.
Sure. Yeah.
Devin Flynn.
Yep.
Glad to have him.
Yeah, no, look, he's a freshman, and I was saying to Mitch earlier, John, that we thought kicker was a position where we'd have to play at least one young guy, and unfortunately due to an injury, we have a freshman punter and a freshman place kicker, but both those guys did a really nice job in the first game, and especially Devin, with the place kicking, the PAT field goal and the kickoff duties.
People that don't get a lot of hype, but I know you're pretty satisfied. What they did was the offensive line. You had some injuries, but I can't name all those guys. Yep. But they had a pretty solid game.
Sure. They were great, John. We were able to run the ball with the tailbacks for 175 yards or so. Quarterback threw the ball for 230 and wasn't sacked. So, I mean, if you take away 2 bad snaps, we had over 400 yards of offense and didn't allow a sack. So, I think as complete a game by the offensive line as we've played since in a long time. Now we do have a couple guys out and hoping to get some of those guys back soon, but hey, we're not canceling the games, right? We told them a couple weeks ago we're going to play Susquehanna and we're going to play Albright this weekend too. So yeah.
Okay. John Seibel was able to pick up a block punt, I believe, and get it down there. I'm not sure if he went all the way in or not.
Yeah, he scored. Yep.
Phil
scored on that one. Phil Schron actually blocked it, and John was able to pick it up and score.
So he's a special teams guy plus a wide receiver.
Sure. Yeah, and look, you know what?
A lot of them do that.
Well, you have to, John. I mean, we do our best as coaches to find guys who can be core special teams players that maybe aren't starters, but you don't have 11 of those guys, right? Each team is a little bit different, and there are some guys who who are on every team, and some guys who are only on one. But you've got to, unfortunately, on a lot of those teams, you have to use your starters. And so it's not just a John Seibel. It's, Kyle Sullivan's on special teams. Craig Needhammer and Ryan Umpleby are on special teams. Tanner Troutman, is going to be on some special teams. So, look, you want there to be a balance. I mean, in a perfect world, it would be special teams would be a great way to get some younger guys that aren't quite ready to start yet some playing time. But at the end of the day, you need to have guys on special teams who aren't going to cost you the football game. And that's up to us to try to find that mix of experienced guys who play a lot of offense or defense, or some inexperienced guys who can fit the scheme and do what you want. But we gave up a big return last week. We had a couple solid kickoff returns. We scored on the punt. So, I mean, for the most part, I thought we were pretty solid special teams-wise, but, there's one or two – well, there's several things we're still working to improve.
The first game of the year, though, and you're going to iron out some stuff. First time they really got all together in gameplay. I know another area you're pretty satisfied in. Year after year, Steve Weiser loses some people and then gets another defense together, him and Mike Weber and his crew. And another solid game by the defense. I know 13 points were scored, but some of those were because of turnovers or missed.
The one snap led directly. The bad snap led directly to a score. And now we played very good defense week one. Again, there's still some things we're trying to figure out on defense, but. Very, very tough against the run last week and really forced Susquehanna to have to throw the ball maybe a little bit more than they would have liked with a freshman quarterback.
This has been a production of Lycomingfootball.com.